Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay. How you guys doing? Welcome to SaveState Podcast, episode 12. I am your host. Destiny sucks today. From Too Loud Tech. I got my boy Matt from Digital Jedi Gaming, Warframe Forever, Handheld Hoarder, and this little guy here. We're trying to introduce him, make a name for him. Our friend Russ from Retro Game Corps. Just kidding. How you doing?
Yeah,
Russ?
hey guys. Yeah, I'm an up and coming channel. I'm still kind of working out the kinks, but really looking forward to making more videos.
Yeah, he hasn't hit that 2 million yet, so go hit his likes and subscribes.
So, before we get into this, Russ, tell these guys about Destiny. These guys are fools, man.
Oh man, Destiny is so good. It's just like new Halo, and that new one just came out today, the tablet one or the Android one. And I was playing it on a tablet. That's what I was working on before jumping in here, and yeah, it's kind of fun. Like it's third person as you're moving around, but then it gets into first person when you aim down the sights. And so it feels like the old Destiny, but not quite that Bungie magic that you usually can see. So I think it's got some growing pains, but man, I love Destiny. I've played that for 10 plus years now.
Yep, me too. I'm an OG player. So I got to beta it when they first talked about it last year when they first did a test, and it was terrible. So I haven't played it yet today. So I'm glad to see that, I mean, I've heard some pretty good stuff too, but I'm OG too, like Crota and all those original raids. These guys, they play Warframe because they just, I mean, there's no talent.
Russ, he streamed for me one time, bro, and he had 85 rounds in his gun, and he hit the enemy twice out of those 85.
Yeah, that might be it. Right. Destiny's got really good auto aim, so maybe that's the help right there.
Yeah, that's exactly what those 2 rounds were. I did get a chance to try what's it called, Destiny Rising, right? The app.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a chance to try it today. I'm a Warframe first guy, and sometimes playing Destiny feels like I'm selling out. So for those who don't know, there's a big rivalry between the two communities as far as which one's the better looter shooter. Even though Warframe is way more than just a looter shooter, way more. Destiny could never amount to Warframe's greatness. But actually playing the game, it was actually really good. I was surprised. I was like, wow, it actually very, very smooth. I played it on the iPad Pro. So that's gonna be really optimized anyway. And but it was very nice, but it wasn't quite Destiny, right? It didn't feel exactly the same, but for a mobile game, it felt like a pretty good, solid game.
The dialogue's a little bit cringe, but we just skip it in regular Destiny anyway, too. So it's not a big of a deal.
Fair. That is
I'm
fair.
still having an issue in regular Destiny now. Every time I like
killing things.
The new Zavala, but it's still it's not the same. You know what I mean? That new Zavala is that actor. I don't know his name. He's been in a bunch of stuff. We know who he is, but he's not the old Zavala who's that actor that's been in a bunch of stuff that we all know who he is, right? So it's a little bit. I took a break from Destiny almost a year when the Lightfall campaign was announced, and then they delayed it, and then they laid off a bunch of people. And I kind of took a break for a while there, and then I got back into it, and then all that stuff with the actor who plays Zavala's voice dying and stuff. It was a little jarring to get back into the play that. But I still love it, man. I still love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I just love that we've got this free to play type of games to play like this. It's just fun to jump in and be able to play this stuff. And now it's even cooler that I can do it on my phone or my iPad or any other tablet and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah. So what kind of killed Destiny for me more recently was that whole power level, like changing the power level. Like here I was capped. I'm at level cap, and now I have to start all over again. And I was like, you know what game doesn't do this to me? Warframe. If
you're a Warframe player and you love it that much, how is your power level capped in Destiny? You just expose yourself.
Oh my God! He's saying you didn't have no time to do it.
His answer's going to be no English. No English. Is that
that's it. I plead the fifth. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that. But I've been playing Warframe for 13 years or so. So I've had quite a bit of time to fit a little Destiny in over the years, you know. So it actually, you know, back to the mobile variant, I'm so excited to see all of these AAA and big titles coming over to mobile. I've been waiting for years. I know a lot of us have. So to be getting them, I know also too we're looking for like a Rainbow Six Siege should be coming here at some point. Division, Surgeon. I know Warframe is making its way to Android. It's already on Apple products. So
can't wait for that one.
Have like the Fortnites. I'm really shocked about the Warzone leaving the mobile space. Kind of sucks because it was a nice quick pick up and play and just mess around, and it was good for videos too. So that one sucked, but it is nice to see all of these bigger titles coming into the space, especially now that we're getting these handhelds that are capable of running them, you know, so well. And actually, speaking of devices that are running them so well, let's get into actually, Matt. I'm going to skip around a little bit here. Let's get into.
It wasn't getting blown out. It's running. The fan is spinning like a jet engine, but it's running on a 477M.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I know, Russ, you like that device a lot, right? The 477M.
I like it for retro gaming, you know, like I'm not sure about like modern gaming on it just because the control setup, but yeah, I think that screen is pretty awesome. And there's nitpicks, you know, I wish it was plastic. I wish it had stacked shoulder buttons, but otherwise, yeah, it's been great.
Oh, so you were on the other side of the fence that where I was thinking you would be, is that you were not a fan of the metal device.
Yeah, I prefer plastic usually, just because the weight and the heat of it, you know. Metal's cool, like it's really impressive, you know, but when I actually use it, I'm like, I don't know, I wish this was plastic. I kind of like my handhelds to feel like a toy, you know.
Yeah. I honestly, I'm happy to see they brought back another metal because I thought the metals were over because it had been so long since we've seen one. So I kind of thought from Anbernic, the metals were kind of just out of here. So it was cool to see. I was a little let down because of the price point of it. Not so much because it was a high price, but I just felt like they left out a few features that we would have wanted, especially at that price range. You know, especially OLED, right? Like a nice OLED panel. But and then too, it was just the triggers for me. I was not really a fan of, you know, I like stack triggers. The device is already not a pocketable device, so I didn't see the reason for the inline triggers on that thing. But it's a nice looking device. Our friend Matt got it, and he's very, very impulsive, and he cannot help himself. You know, sometimes we try to give him interventions, but it doesn't really work well. But let's get into, were you able to pull up, because I feel like this one is going to take up a huge chunk of our time here. Were you able to pull up that Absolute 3D one?
Yes, that was a pretty cool.
Pull that one up.
Yeah, so
that's that's the monster one, with the 3D on it.
Yeah.
They've been trying to send that to me, and I haven't replied to them. I probably should.
Oh, okay, I would love to see your take on that firsthand. I know our guy Lee here, the handheld hoarder, he's gonna end up picking one up. That thing is screaming his name. He buys everything that is. He buys all the obscure handhelds. So
I do like obscure.
So this thing looks super cool to me, and this kind of goes back to the conversation that we're having previously about the price point. And you know, I have a feeling that's where you wanted to segue to a lot about, you know, this and the new 395 devices that are coming out and stuff. Like, you know, we kind of talked about at what point is it too expensive for the hobby, right? Like
now it's too expensive.
Because I mean, like, you know, like Russ, you did that review of that Z Flow 13, and you even said that you know, it's amazing, but it's not $2,300 amazing, right?
Yeah, it's like a thing that I use all the time, almost every day, and I just cannot recommend it just because of that price point. Like I don't know what everyone else is going through in life and what they can afford and whatnot, but to say, oh, you got to spend $2,300 for this thing, I don't know if I can ever say that about a product. And this thing at $1,700 is kind of giving me that same vibe.
So And then did you guys see? I'm sure you saw about the GPD Win 5 that it's officially launched, and it says their advertisement says starting at $19.99.
Yeah, so that's not even the $395.
Yeah, for the $385. And Two Loud, I think, was talking about this. He's like, that thing's gonna be $2,500 plus, right? So, I mean, you're right. So at what point are we like, as a consumer, I'm like, I'm there now. Like, I don't think I could do it. Well, not that I'm there. I'm sure my wife would murder me if I bought a Win 5. I'm sure that, I'd be knocking on one of you guys' doors. Hey, can I come over? It wouldn't be Russ's door because I couldn't afford to fly to Hawaii.
You probably.
I'm not gonna lie. I would open the door. I would egg you in the face and close the door again. Like,
you probably, Matt. You probably own at least 17 $100 handhelds. Tell me,
I mean, true.
Oh, English?
Yeah. This is the 3 done. You get the 3 and you're done. That's it. I do want to make a pitch for this because I will never buy this, but I do think something about it is fascinating. Usually when we see these companies, they take a screen and they build a handheld, an idea around a screen. But sometimes you've seen that screen replicated in other stuff. I haven't seen this screen in laptops or other devices. Now remember, where this is old tech, you're going back to like 2010 tech, but like, do you remember when 3D TVs were popular?
Yeah.
When glasses were a pain in the butt?
Yeah.
This is what if this is a really expensive, like just one of those media tablets, right? The controllers come off. You're looking at your 3D Blu-rays or whatever the heck it is. Like there is a pitch for this device, right? But I don't know if this is going to be an evolution of the same tech on the 3DS, where it's like you got to sit in this very confined little position where it actually works. Otherwise, it gives you a headache and your brain breaks.
Yeah. I know they are also working on like an external monitor, that's separate from a handheld, like a monitor you can buy that will have the same tech in it. And so I think they emailed me about that too. I really got to reply to these guys, but yeah. So I think that the tech is probably coming from somewhere, like they're obviously working on it. And I don't know. Did you guys ever try like the TJD 101? I did a video about that thing. That was like 10 or 11 inches. It was massive. Like I just couldn't stop laughing as I was testing. I was like, this is so ridiculous. And I'm getting the same kind of feeling with this one.
I had one for a hot minute.
I think last week's guest, Clef had one, and I gave him nothing but a hard time about it as well.
It's heavy. It's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
I think so I think it has like some camera or LiDAR sensors that are supposedly they track your eyes so that the 3D follows you as your head moves around or whatever. I think it is
subliminal messages,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a chunk. Yeah, I mean, it is made by Tencent, right? And being rebranded by Absolute. So, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to subliminal marketing you. But I think it's a really cool idea. I just don't think, I think it's very niche, right? Like, how many of us owned a 3DS and just kept that 3D option off all the time?
Yes, all the time.
Because it didn't work that well.
It made my brain hurt.
I feel like it would have kept it on if it didn't have to be so precise with a portable device that I do this with. It's flipping all over the place.
Yeah, fair. So I mean, I think that it's coming with really good specs, right? Like the 258V seems to be very performant, and I see some charts showing it outdoing the Z2 or the HX 370s. So it's like a very performant chip, and the price point for such a massive device with so many features, I think, is in line with current pricing of stuff. But where it gets a little muddy, I think, is now where we're seeing these the 385, the HX 385 and the 395s coming in. Really cool idea, really, really sweet to have that sort of frame rate out of a handheld. I mean, I think we would all love that, but at what cost, right? Like
$1,700.
This is what I was even more, dude. Like this is what I was telling Matt, was like Asus did it with the Flow for $2,000+ and they're a big box brand. Right. So what do we expect from these boutique outlets? Like they're not going to be able to keep up with Asus's pricing.
They can't do economies of scale, so they can't produce an over amount, like have the manufacturing produce in too many of them and then sell them at a discounted cost.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the crazy part is that Asus can't keep them in stock. Like, so somebody's buying them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like somebody's shelling out that money for it. And I don't know who those people are, but I want to be their friends because they're probably rich.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Along the pricing point, Tula said something. You said, what you're getting with the 258V, the price point is in line. I don't know if I agree with that. So the MSI Claw 8AI Plus had the 258V, and even after the price went up, that thing's $1,000, right? So is this thing $700 better than that?
I mean, the 3D tech probably costs them a fortune. So
yeah, I don't know if I'm bought in on that though. I don't know. So I don't know what you guys think, but I don't think I'm bought in on that one.
I think it needs to come with a 20,000 milliamp battery for me to say, yeah, it's worth it.
Right. I mean, it's at this price point, you can actually buy 4 Steam Decks and tape them together and get a slightly larger screen. You know what I mean?
But what about this? Like, people have been trying to nail this form factor for a while. So X1 has been trying to do this. So it's like, it's the screen. You put the controllers on the side of it. You put the attached laptop. But like, 7-8 inches is really good. I know Matt is such a big fan of the Portal that he has to just keep letting him go, right? But for a laptop, you expect a bigger screen, right? Like 10 inches on a laptop is small. 10 inches on the handheld is massive. So it's a really weird little middle ground to try to get those two things to work together if you're going to have this combo form factor.
I agree. I mean, like you're saying, Michael, well, at this point, why not just carry a laptop? It's huge. Like they should stay within their grounds, 6 to 8 inches.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think there's an argument
portable
to be made there, right? Because like there is a market apparently. Like maybe we're not that market, but apparently there is a market for bigger tablets. Because look at the iPad Pro, the bigger variant of the iPad Pro. Look at the bigger variant of the Samsung Tab Ultra. Look at the Flow, the ROG Flow. Like Russ said, those things can't keep in stock.
But the question comes to play is how many of those are actually getting taken out of the house, or are they just staying home?
I mean, but how many of our handhelds are couch devices?
That's true. Yeah, I mean, they both fall in the same question, right? But like, this is just insane. Like, you wouldn't carry this anywhere.
No.
I mean, I don't ever like to do. Yeah, I don't like to do the one-up thing, but it feels like if you're going to pay $1,700 for this, you might as well just get the Flow Z13 because there's a huge gap in performance between them. Might as well spend the extra $600 if you're going to be spending $1,700, And I hate saying that, but that's the reality that I would be looking at.
So I think the 3D is the pitch, right? Like in the case of this device.
Are you any of you guys really like excited about a 3D device?
I'm not saying it's great. I'm saying it's unique. Like it is a thing which they have.
And then if we're talking about that, then at what point do we consider this viable? What point do we start looking at this? And then now we're at a 7-inch screen, but this thing is a freaking beast. Until
really quick, I just want to touch on the whole 3D thing really quick. So, I got some of those Vitcher glasses, and the Vitchers pitch like, hey, we could 3D or spatial, we could make any of your video spatial, whatever they call it, spatial video and 3D. And at first I was like, yo, this is so cool. Wow, how awesome. For like 5 minutes, right? And then like after that, I don't use that feature. I use it regular, standard, just a regular screen, right? Like I think it's a cool niche thing that at first it wows you, but then after that, you never really use it again, right? Like, or you use it just to show people, like, look at this, I have a 3D screen. Let's be honest here. How many of us have real life friends? You're probably showing your mailman or like your UPS delivery driver, right? Like, so nobody cares, bro.
Yeah, it seems like a feature that's in search of an audience. There's not people banging at the door saying we want 3D tech, right? It's it's them saying, hey, look at this cool thing we made, and let's see how we can sell it.
3D movies in the theater were kind of cool. Like I still kind of enjoy those every now and again, but all the 3D at home experience really felt forced. It really felt like it was, and I think it died. It died for a reason.
I agreed. Agreed. I was already thinking that. Like, there's a reason why it doesn't exist in our TVs anymore, right? Like, there's a reason why they thought that there would be a market for it. There wasn't, So back to the GPD.
Yeah.
So then it goes back to this, which is price, right? Because now we're looking at bare minimum $2,000 for a 7-inch gaming, and even with the external battery pack, I'm still concerned that power is an issue or a concern. And if you got to change batteries, in the middle of a game, you're gonna have to log out or save it or something like that. Then I'm back to Russ's statement. I guess I'm just getting a Z13 then, because you got a bigger screen and you're in the same situation, same power, same price.
Matt, have you ever met a Game Gear owner? Game Gear owners have a proud history of putting in the attachment, and you sit in the corner and you find a wall outlet and you finish your game of Sonic. Yeah, that's what you do.
I had one. 6 batteries in the last 13 minutes for a game. I remember.
But it was the best 13 minutes of
your
your
life. Slander the Game Gear. I remember the minute I got it, I was like, I was so excited. I was so happy. I'm like under my blanket, like playing it here in the dark. I thought it was so cool. I'm like stealing remote batteries out of my dad's living room TV remote, swapping.
Right, but the thing is, you could actually see the screen instead of the Game Boy, so you could actually do that, right?
Yeah. I think this GPD, right? I think it's a really, really cool concept. I think that just having that sort of power is really cool, and I think that's what their main goal was to just show that it can be done. I don't think that there's going to be a huge audience for this. I mean, the price point alone is a huge barrier. Also, I kind of like the idea of swappable batteries, because if it's dead and I have a secondary battery, I could always just grab that secondary battery, throw it on. I really don't ever have to see the charger, especially if they make some sort of dock for the batteries where I can dock them and keep them charged. Like that would be awesome. My issue with the whole battery concept, and it's not even the fact that it's mounting, it's the way and where it's mounting. It seems that it's blocking the fans, and that 395 is going to need those fans to be kicking that air through.
Well, too loud. I want to put you on the spot. Do you still have your external battery, your fun external battery that you showed us before?
Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, of course I have that thing. I love it. Right? What he's talking about, Russ, is I have an Neo 3, and I really enjoy it, and it's exceeded my expectations. Actually, I see a lot of rough reviews around that thing, and I've kicked around the idea of making a review. I will at some point here, but I never want to really charge it. Be stuck at a certain corner of my house or something. So I have this giant kilowatt EcoFlow battery that I just move around with me. And
I saw that
my Neo 3's battery lasts 3 days,
I had an image of you like on a Rascal scooter, like with that thing duct taped to the back, moving around the house with the thing plugged in.
Yeah.
His battery pack is bigger than his toddler.
It is bigger and heavier than my toddler.
That's funny.
So I mean, battery pack aside, power aside, what do you think of the form factor? I mean, it's losing the keyboard, but it does look a little bit less janky, a little bit more elegant than the previous GPD wins.
I have the Win 4, and I like it, but it's kind of thick and doesn't have a lot of grip to it. This feels like it's got more grip to it, and I don't know. I hope they send me one so I can test it, even if I got to send it back. I think it'll be just a fun experience. And I am worried about the swapping batteries thing. They said their solution is, just, hit the power button. It'll go to sleep, and that'll be a deep sleep. And then you can swap out the battery and then go right back into it. But we all know that Windows is not reliable when it comes to sleep.
Not at all.
I can't trust my game for something like that.
Nope, not at all. So,
especially if it's online.
I wonder if you can plug it in, swap the battery, and then unplug it so that the battery sustains it while you're swapping, so that the plug sustains it while you're swapping batteries. I mean, that's unfortunate for when you're away from home or away from an outlet, but it is kind of a small workaround. I don't think 80 what it was, an 80 watt hour battery.
Yeah.
And so I haven't had one, Russ. What does the Flow have? 80 watt hour battery as well?
I don't think it's 80. I think it's like 70-ish, 60-ish. Let me check. It's not great. I mean, that's probably the biggest downside of that tablet is that, it's so cool and sleek and thin, but the battery life is not great on it. The cool thing about the 395 chip, though, is that you can really get some excellent performance at very low TDPs. And so you can actually still, if you're going to be playing something even like light or medium weight, it'll give you long battery life. But if you're really trying to push it, which I think a lot of us, we want to see how far we can push things, the battery life is pretty bad on that. So 70. Okay, great.
Okay, so because and I think that's well, as far as the battery life and low TDP usage, I think that's what has made me very excited with the HX370 device, because I could run everything that I was playing on, let's say a Legion Go at full TDP at 15 watts on the Neo, and I'm getting a higher frame rate. It's always going to match that frame rate or be higher at the same resolution, same graphic settings. And I love that, because like the other night, I literally, I no-lifed and I played Warframe on my Neo 3 for 3.5 hours on one charge. And I was running at like 90 FPS, 1080p. That was amazing to me. It was very, very good session. And that thing doesn't have the beefiest battery. I think it's maybe a 55 watt hour battery, if that. So I think if we can run a 395 at a place like at 15 watts or something and have at least a 2-hour battery life, that's not that bad. I wonder how much these battery packs weigh. I
was curious about that too. One other thing, you didn't see it too loud, but when you were talking about playing Warframe for 3 hours, it was all over Russ's face. He was thinking, "What a waste of 3 hours of your life."
Yeah, you could have been playing Destiny.
I'm saying, brother. That's the question I had. I'm glad you asked that. So this picture down here.
Hold on. It would have been time well spent if I was playing Destiny.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I'm totally understanding. Okay. All right. Hey,
you got to be nice to the new guy. He's just here. He's just trying to get himself established. He's right. Always. The guest is always right, sir. I was wondering about that too, about the battery. And this picture here shows the battery, just like to all the points that we're talking about. It covers most of the venting. And also, the grips, this thing looks really ergonomic, which I'm really excited for, because that was the fan noise and how chunky the Wind 4 was the reason why I got rid of it. It was that thing is it was a brick.
A little jet engine,
huh?
Yeah, a little jet engine.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was loud. So I'm curious what this was gonna do.
I mean, I was always attracted to it. I never pulled the trigger on picking one up, but I was attracted to it because I thought, hey, man, awesome. The Windows in a small little form factor like this that I could use and play games. But then everybody was telling me, a couple of guys, you and Corruption, you guys both basically said the same thing. Yo, this thing gets loud. It's really not that comfortable to hold on to. It gets really warm. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll wait. I'll wait till they figure this out.
GPD was one of the original players in the handheld PC space. They really kind of they made something. So I love the idea of this thing, but the battery thing is a deal killer. That for me is what an incredibly powerful device, and what oh no, the cord accidentally fell out. I just lost my game. There's just way too much of an opportunity for a handheld that moves. To have it. Who's ever played with a 3326 Linux device with the little dongle sticking out on top? It is an inelegant, right?
Yeah.
So there are a couple little features of this device that I think are really cool, like that whole SSD chip. I haven't seen that yet.
That's very cool. So I think it's proprietary. Yeah, it is. It's proprietary to them, which is pretty awesome.
Is it proprietary to them? Okay, so we won't see that coming out of anybody else anytime soon. Then, I think that's really, really cool. So, is this just replacing SSD totally? This is your SSD now, or is this a secondary SSD?
I think it's secondary, isn't it? Because it comes with a 2280 SSD in it.
Okay.
Right.
So,
that's really quick. Lee, Tag, you're it. I'm out. My boys are coming out Taekwondo. I'll talk to you guys
All right. Take it easy, Michael.
See you.
See you later, buddy.
Later. Thanks for joining us, Mike. So I think that's really, really cool idea. I thought when I first initially saw it, I thought they were using the same sort of micro express that the Switch 2 is using. And then I think it was Lee or somebody had told me no, this is an SSD. It has much faster transfer rates and everything like that. I was like, yo, this is really cool, because if I could literally just upgrade my SSD by popping out this little card slot, how awesome is that? Because right now I'm dreading opening my Neo 3 to swap out the SSD, because I'm
hard.
They hide their screws. Everything is soft plastic, and I'm gonna break some clips. I know it. So Yeah.
Well, good news is they've gotten better at making their clips, so that's a plus. But the plastic is soft, so you're probably gonna do some damage.
Yeah. That's always fun. That's always fun. What else was it? I think also, I mean, last thing really, I think 128 gigabytes is kind of overkill on the RAM.
It is. It's insane.
Oh, it totally is. Yeah.
You're not going to use all of that.
Yeah.
There's no way. Not even PCs at home use that much.
Right.
Nope. So
Yeah, that's just insane. Yeah, I think they just wanted it to look fancy, so they can say, "Hey, it's worth the price. You get 128 gigs."
Yeah.
It's a AI thing, you know, basically, because the Flow Z13 also has a 128 gig model, and it's literally just for like running, you know, LLMs and things like that. And I think it has to do with the AI Max 9395 chip, because it allows that much RAM on it. But yeah, for us as gaming, like, okay, 32 is pretty good, you know, 64 is a little overkill, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you get a new car now, right? Like all the new cars, they come with all these extra features that you're really not asking for, but they're surely going to charge.
Power windows. How dare they?
Yeah.
No, not power windows, Lee. Not power windows, dude. That's not what I was talking about. All right, let's go ahead and get off of this. So actually, I want to ask Russ some stuff here for a moment. So Russ, the Odin Thor, I watched your stream with Stubbs and RH, and I saw that you kind of held off on ordering the Thor because you were going to order with somebody else at the time. So did you end up making that order? Is it now complete?
Oh, yeah, they made the order like at that time, but he was doing it. I wasn't doing the order. So so I got the Pro Thor. That's the like middle tier one or whatever, 12 gigs of RAM, and then the rainbow color one. That's like a, you know, kind of like an SNES gray, but with those rainbow buttons. And so, yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it looks really sleek. You know, we'll see how it goes in terms of software. I'm finding that, you know, when you add a second screen to an Android device, things get pretty tricky.
Makes it tough.
So,
yeah.
Well,
are you looking at the Ioneo DS? Are you interested in that thing, the Pocket DS?
Oh yeah, they already reached out. They're going to send it over to me, so I'll test that one out. I don't think I would have purchased that one personally. Like I think that the Thor kind of took all the wind out of the sails of the Pocket DS in terms of what I'm looking for.
Here's a question I
am looking forward to testing it.
Would you have bought the Ioneo DS if the Thor had not been announced?
I'm such a bad person to ask because I already have like the Flip 1S DS. You know what I mean? Like I've got so many gadgets here that like when I see a new handheld, I just like, oh, that's more work. You know, like the review and all that stuff. You know? So yeah, like I don't have the same excitement that I did 5 years ago when a new thing comes out, but the Thor actually does have, like, I'm like, okay, this actually could be my end game. You know, it looks like a 3DS, you know, it's got that same size, and if I can just walk around with something like this that also can play all of my games, holy smokes. Like I feel like
I thought the same thing because I was really excited with the Retroid Flip. I was like, yo, this is gonna be my device of the year. Like I'm carrying this everywhere.
Yeah.
And I called it a couple times, right, guys? I did. I was like, this device of the year for me. This is it. And but I didn't see this coming. I didn't see, you know, Iron Thor coming with a dual OLED, and you know, and one of the biggest gripes that I have with this device, and I don't see a lot of people mention it, but I hate the positioning of the volume buttons on the side because I tend to mash them while I'm playing, and I'm like either turning up the volume or turning it down, and sometimes my toddler's sleeping in my room, and let me tell you, like turning up your volume all the way in Dead Cells in the middle of the night, it's not the best, man. So that part kind of was like, okay. And then having the dual screen, like if it can be implemented correctly, how amazing would it be? Like it would be super cool. Right?
That's the tough part though, because they always choose CPUs that are technically designed for one screen. So they're using loopholes and like they're developing new software to run the second screen, but it can't run them simultaneously because these Snapdragons aren't designed for that. They're only designed for one screen. And so that's why we're running into all those problems, right? Like Russ, he was having the problems with the 1X Sugar, right? The 1X Sugar, where he couldn't get both screens to function because these Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, 3. I think Gen 1 was the only processor that could run 2 screens, and no one's going to use the Gen 1 because it's old.
Yeah.
So
it's a challenge. It's crazy that, you know, a lot of ways Android just works in these magical kind of ways, except in this. Like, this is actually easier to do on Windows. Not easier, it's more complicated, but at least they have the background for it and the framework for it. So it does make it a little bit easier because you're basically just doing 2 monitors at once in that point.
Right.
I'm curious what the experience is going to be like, just like what Lee was saying, you know, because I remember, like, and I think it was Russ that actually brought it up when he was doing the 1X Sugar about the locking the screen. It's the ones, both screens at 60 hertz, and then only being able to use touch on one at a time. I'm curious. I think you're 100% right. I think AYN has to nail that software down. And not that I'm hating or anything like that, but I think that there seem to be, have shown to be more reliable and would more likely be the better of the 2 companies to get that. Whereas Neo is just going to say, you know, we're Apple, buy it and like it. You know what I mean? Which they've done in the past. And so,
we're already on to the next device, guys. Sorry, we're not we're not doing any more updates.
And I'm curious what they're going to do. And I want to see a better picture of the Thor, because we fight all the time. Too Loud doesn't like the Portal because he doesn't have good taste. No, he doesn't like the Portal because of the sticks, right? And so the Pocket DS sticks look really small, but then the Thor sticks, they don't look that much bigger to me. So I'm curious if there's going to be a difference there. And I think us people that got the Portal, Russ, did you get the second set of sticks, the bigger ones that came with the Portal?
I did, and I got like 3D printed ones and stuff too, and that really changes it up for me. The cool thing is those sticks will also fit on, you know, the Neo and the Thor, but whether or not you can close the lid is going to be the thing you got to find, is that balance there, basically. So,
well, I think that's the good thing with. I'm gonna shout out my friend Pun from Hype Sticks, because he's actually been doing his thing, and I got some on the flip, and man, what a world of difference, and he really makes a great. And
product. He's got those larger sticks that are low profile, that are wider. I really like. I hope they fit in that really well. It went really well. And for the Thor, I'm excited about. Those are the same ones you're talking about, because I saw you had them in your video too, right, Russ?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I think it's great. I love that they are using like a universal stick mount for all of these. You know, that everyone's using them. I've heard that like the ROG Ally and I think the Legion Go actually have the same mechanism underneath. It's just that they cover it up with their own sticks, but it's the same thing as all these other companies. And I love it. I think it works great.
Yep. So, speaking of dual screens and all this stuff, I watched a video today. I saw you made 2 references to Star Wars. You those were for me, right?
Yeah, that was directly for you. Absolutely.
Yeah, see, I told you guys, Russ, my new best friend. Me and Russ were BFS, whatever.
Whatever, dude.
I was like, I'm like, babe, I'm pretty sure Russ just made those references for me. We're BFS. Like, you're a dork.
Everybody makes Star Trek references, whether they watch it or not. All right.
He said Star Trek. You see?
I mean,
actually, I brought up you want to say something, Lee?
Yeah, I was just gonna say a quick recap on this. Like, I know a lot of people they're torn between the 2 companies, and I think your best bet really is the Thor. Only for there's a few reasons. They went OLED on both, obviously, so you can have the same nit brightness, which is gonna be nice. Compared to the Neo's DS, they have an OLED on top and an LCD on bottom, so the nit difference is gonna be really noticeable. You got like 400 or 500 on the bottom and like 800 at the top. So that's interesting. Which maybe will appeal to people that had the like OG DSs, because the nit difference was pretty large on them too. And then obviously the Thor didn't recess their second screen, which I thought was really cool. They just got it behind, like, I think it's glass.
Looks like
I'm not sure because they're just renders, right? But I would hope it's just glass, which is really cool. I really like the non-recess idea. It just looks really clean, really sleek. And I would say that most of us are in that Thor boat. As soon as when it dropped, like, what's the Neo DS?
That price too, you know, there's a pretty big price gap between them. And spec wise, I don't see that much of a difference. I mean, it does have like the G3X Gen 2, whatever they call it, on the Neo, but I don't know, like it's the same as the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, if you ask me, other than a couple games might run better, but is less stable. So,
well, the other thing to that too is that, we keep talking about this and people are talking about the elites and all that stuff, but what you can do on Android, you're not even capping out the 8 Gen 2 with what you can play on Android. So we're just throwing money at nothing at this point.
Yeah,
right.
And
unless you're really into win later, like that's the only part where it's like, okay, now I could see this.
That's a great point.
It is a great point. Stretch its legs, But other than that, as far as emulation goes, right? Like, yeah, I agree. Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 is really all you really need. It truly is.
Not only that, the drivers are more optimized.
Yep.
Right.
Much more optimized. So I asked about the Thor because I wanted to segue into asking Russ, what do you, I mean, I know that you possibly already have some background information on this that you can't speak on, but if you had the opportunity to design or make changes, what would you want from the Odin 3?
Yes. Great question.
Yeah. So I don't have any information at all. Just to give you guys a heads up on that, because so my conversation with most of these guys, especially AYN, is literally like, hey, is this still your shipping address? Yes. Okay, here's your tracking number. Like that's the conversation we have.
I wish they gave me those conversations.
Right. And then Retroid is a little more receptive, so I will give them a list. I'll be like, here are all the problems that I've been noticing, on Reddit forums or like things that I've noticed or whatever, and just kind of posting it, and then be like, do something about that, and also announce it to them, not to me. You know what I mean? Because they always said this thing, like, hey, can you let everyone know that this is happening? I'm like, no, that's not my job. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so that's my kind of relationship with it. So I don't know anything about the Odin 3. I just want an Odin 2, like the original Odin 2, with a better layout of the D-pad and the analog sticks, and then a better screen.
Yeah,
I'm good. Maybe some better plastics on it.
I think that's what we all said. What we all said. And I mean, Lee even pointed out that custom screen on the Thor is probably what they're going to use on the Odin 3, and it's perfect. Yeah. It's
exactly
perfect.
6 inches, 120 hertz, 1080p OLED. Sign me up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just
perfect.
And just because they're saying next gen, go ahead and do a more powerful chip so that you shut people down with all that stuff, right? So.
Right. And I just hope it's not the Snapdragon 8 Elite. I'd rather have it be the 8 Gen 3 just because of that compatibility and drivers and stuff like that.
Power is amazing, but also we just don't have the compatibility.
Price right? Like an Elite would completely change what we know of the Odin line as far as pricing.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly.
Right now, I think that's not really a feasible one. I am excited to hear you say that because so many people and I cut it a lot of crap the Portal, but it really is a solid device. It's just for me what it was is that it was just too wide of a device, and for Android for me was more like a in bed trying to get some games done before I crash out, and I just felt like. In my review, I said I feel like I have one hand on my mattress and my other hand is gripping my ceiling fan. Like I feel like it's just too wide, like a batarang. But other than that, and to be honest, and I think this is probably the first time that I'm going to mention it, but in that review, prior to making the review, and I did mention this in the review, that I would probably be getting rid of it. But in that review, I had kind of come around to do I want to get rid of it? Because it was actually really solid. Because while I'm sitting there recording, and I'm sure we all do this, we'll start playing a game for some game capture, and then just forget that we're recording and just keep playing. And I did that playing Prince of Persia, and I was just like, God, this device is actually a solid device. Like if I'm sitting at my desk, if I'm sitting on the couch, if I'm sitting somewhere comfy, it's a super, super awesome device. I would like to see them make another Portal 2 later. But honestly, the Odin 2 Pro was so comfortable for me natively. I never put a grip on that thing. The Portal, I had the grip on it for every second of its life while it was with me. And it was just the perfect width. Honestly, it was very comfortable, and it was just enough for That's not the way I would have phrased it, but I get the memo.
Yeah, I think that the buttons were also a lot better. Like that's the thing I just don't like about the Odin 2 Portal today is just that those face buttons are so clacky and loud, and I really think they nailed it with the Odin 2, and the Odin 2 Mini were also excellent buttons. And so hopefully they've gone back to the drawing board and not repeating the Odin 2 Portal buttons.
I don't know if I'm the only one here, but I really hope they do O3 Mini.
I am with you.
That was my favorite, and to date, that's still my favorite AN product. It was literally my everyday device for 8 months, and I love it. I love that form factor, how much power it had for such a small thing. Like I'll throw it into. I wear hoodies a lot, and I'll just throw it into that little kangaroo pocket in the front, and just go on about my day, go on about my business, and pull it out at the most awkward moments in the middle of the grocery store while my wife's comparing 2 different packs of the same thing.
Yeah. I'm there with you. I would love to see an O3 Mini. Better screen. I mean, they could stay with, I guess, the Mini LED, but maybe fix it. I think it's fine with the power it had. I don't think they really had to mess with the power. I would like the triggers on the back to be a little longer. I felt like they were short. That would be like amazing, but it was dead quiet. Like, and I think I've said it a lot in our podcast. It has like permanently etched its way into my nightstand. Like it is a forever on nightstand system because it can get really low in brightness. So it's perfect for like when my wife's sleeping. The buttons are super quiet. Like they don't make any noise at all. It's just perfect.
And you could play it. You could play mostly everything on it on silent with the fans off, right? So that's what I really enjoy. I enjoy a device that when I want the power and I want to go ahead and turn these fans up, I can. But when I want to still continue to play, I can. It could be dead silent. I really really like devices like that. Let's go ahead and move into these Magic devices because I know I'm really liking what they're doing.
They're so weird.
Yeah,
they're so weird.
We have the battle. We have the battle of the creatures.
They put a post. It's under our pictures, but basically they said that, and I'm confused by this. That they said a competitor, because of a competitor, announced so many new devices that we're going to go ahead and release our 2026 line. But to my understanding, that competitor XU Retro was a company that's a spinoff of theirs, and they encouraged it, right? And they're talking about XU Retro. So I was a little confused by that comment on their Discord. But I mean, here's where we're at. Man, I don't know what you guys think, but the Retro DS, kind of digging it, man. It's super weird and wonky, but I'm kind of really digging it. I'm interested in it. What do you guys think of that, man?
I don't know about the speakers. They're going to be right in your palms.
Yeah.
And they have LED. Is it LED lights around the speakers? Is that what
I hate the RGB lights around the speakers. I hate it.
Yeah,
it's like party. It's like a party handheld,
Yeah, and watch them have that pulse, that chase thing. They're just going to be flashing all the time to the music.
Oh my god, dude! No, I'll hate it. I will literally tape them. I'll put tape over them.
It just reminds me of a really old Camaro, like a '78 Camaro that has the big glass bulb lights on the front. They're just staring at you.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see where they're going to go with this. And I want, they've been on the streak of doing stuff under $100. Are they going to give us a Dimensity 7050 for under $100 with a DS screen? Which I wasn't it Lee that said that this was coming? Didn't you predict this, Lee?
I mean, I believe I predicted that they were going to bring out a device that was more powerful. Did I think it was going to be like a Dimensity 7000 series? I don't even know if that's actually says Dimensity 7050 or if that's a model number.
No, they said that was the chipset at Dimensity.
Really?
Yeah, because originally
that's a lot of power.
They were going to do all winners, and then when they redid it, they switched them all to Dimensities.
Wow, so, that's a lot of power. Like, I'm sold with the power. The design, maybe I'll warm up to it.
I mean, I think their intent was because we all like the 040 and we gave them feedback on it, but we wish it played more than DS. So this is their answer, I guess, right?
But that's not going to play more than DS. You can see it in their render that they have the screen split. Like
Right,
that looks
right.
like there's
I
plastic
think they
right on the
mean
screens.
3DS to be able to have enough power to handle 3DS.
It will have enough power to handle 3DS, but look how tiny that screen is on top. Do you really want to
Yeah.
play anything up there? I don't know.
Interesting. Did you see the information about the MagicX 245? They're switching it to a different device now to be more in line with that.
Really? No, I
really?
didn't see that.
They look at so they're ready. They took feedback from the community and they redesigned it a step further. And now it's the what is it the 050 the 258 or something nuts like that. It's
I
called,
mean,
yeah.
I will give them innovation 1000%.
Oh, it's insane,
like
man. It's insane.
Innovation 1000%. But they probably need to fire their rendering designer.
Yeah. So I don't know where the ergonomics are on this thing. I mean, because I don't know what they are. I don't know what that loop on the bottom is there. But also, where's the speakers? Again, it's a render, but where's the speakers on this one? The other one,
Probably on the bottom or the back.
Yeah. But that thing looks insane.
It looks like a little tablet jammed between two Joy-Cons. Like
that makes sense.
It looks like.
That makes sense.
All that being said, I'm going to buy the shit out of this thing when it comes out. I am totally going to.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
It is wonky and crazy, and I'm impulsive. You guys don't know this about me, but I'm impulsive, and I'm going to buy the hell out of this thing.
I might buy it if they have butt cheeks on both sides of those controllers.
My gosh.
I wonder if you can rotate it and play it normally. You know what I mean? Like, say you take that right analog stick and the face buttons, you rotate it, and then you can play regular games on it too. You know,
that would be pretty awesome.
Like super top heavy.
Awesome.
You know?
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
Would be, like a vertical arcade. Like, that would be actually pretty cool. I agree.
They'll probably solve it with like Bluetooth and make you turn it around and connect the Bluetooth controller.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Did you guys see those videos? Like, I saw a couple shorts go around with the 040, and they were having them in like their telescopic controller.
Yes.
040s. Like, I was like, yeah, dude, why, man? Just for the memes. I will say, like, I'm happy that MagicX, like, they're dropping it. They're dropping a lot of stuff, dude, and it's really cool to see them step outside of the box some. You know, because everybody is just like a different spin on the same thing, and at least they're trying something different. Yep. I mean, I don't really, I hate the RGBs around the speakers on that first device. I really don't like that idea. Weird. It's just, it makes you look at the ugliest part of the device. Like, so it's constantly drawing your focus to the worst design part of the device.
Yeah,
like,
it's the dimples.
Put the I don't know who decided, first of all, that we need RGB on everything, but if you're gonna put the RGB on there, just put them on the sticks like everybody else, and like, let's just move on, because you don't need to draw attention to those speakers. They look, you know what they remind me of is like really fat ear gauges, like, you know.
They always remind me of like cheek dimples, like when you got dimples in your cheeks.
Right in the face. And
but really, if you're gonna do RGB, I like what Odin did at the beginning and just putting it on the sides of the devices. Yeah. Like, you don't even need it on the sticks; just put it on the sides. It's really cool. It looks really
I did like that with the Odin. I did, because it gave me a little bit of light, like in the room if I'm sitting in a full dark room, but I didn't have to have it like straight in my face, like with the light, the rings around the joysticks.
Yes.
So having the ambient light come out of the side of the device, I like that feature a lot. When I got the Portal, I was kind of like, oh man, no side RGBs. Like,
buddy. So we got a super chat. Thank you, Corruption. Funny story about that, Corruption. So when Russ sent me the picture of himself for the thumbnail, I said, man, this picture, you can tell by the look on your face that you're saying I'm the only dude on this panel that's better looking than Jedi.
He did say that.
Yeah. So that's awesome, man. Thank you, Tula. We appreciate it. Corruption. We appreciate that, man.
Yeah, for real. I mean, these devices are funny, but the Dimensity makes me wonder how much they're going to go for. I know that they're cost effective. I know they're a cost effective company, but like, if you switch back to that one that you were showing me, the blue one, or was it like teal? I think it was teal. it said it had a 7,000 milliamp battery with a Dimensity 7300. Like that's gotta be like 180, 200.
Yeah, expensive. Yeah,
gotta be.
Who's the smart one? What's the math on this 1440 by 1080? What's the aspect ratio on that thing?
That's 4:3. Yeah.
Is it 4:3? 1440 by 1080.
Yeah. So this is basically like the RG477M, but slightly bigger. It's 4.8 inches versus 4.7, and then higher resolution display. I'm assuming it's 60 frames per second. But where are they getting this screen from? Like I've never seen a screen at this size and that resolution with that aspect ratio.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, really interesting.
Yeah, because the rendering makes it look like a 3x2 or even like a 5x3 even or something interesting. So I was a little curious about that. So
I was waiting for somebody to touch on this one because I feel like every outlet that I've watched cover on these MagicXs, like they stick to the two uglies, and nobody actually pays any attention to the one that actually looks like it's probably the best device out of the bunch.
Well,
right? Like
my only issue, and this is probably going to be a sore spot with one of Russ's absolute favorite devices, the 35XXH, is it was too small.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
I love the 40XXH. I know you guys don't like it. I wish it was a little bit more squared off like the 35XXH. So I mean, that's kind of why I always gravitated to the KTR1. But that's a shot in the dark. Which version you're going to get when you buy one? Which one's going to work? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, this is interesting. I am curious about this, and it's got the retro layout for the buttons, and it's D-pad centric on top. But what interests me is with the screen, like the resolution there, and then what it looks like. But if it's going to be a big one with a widescreen like that, I want to check it out. Yeah,
it probably gets fat.
It should probably have stacked shoulder buttons. If you look, those shoulder buttons in the render are going all the way around it, and they've been good about making stacked shoulder buttons and all their stuff. So at least as far as I remember. But anyway, like I feel like these renders all are stacked shoulder buttons, and there's little things that make me a little excited about it. Like for example, if you look at the very bottom of the screen on this handheld, it's like a little bit of a like a jutting out of it, right? So they've accommodated the fact that they want a big screen, but they don't necessarily want a big device, and so they've made that little hump there.
I didn't notice that prior to you saying it. It's also on the top, like you can see it a little bit on the top. And it's not jarring. It's not like it's not too much to where it just made it look like, hey, you have to notice this.
Jarring like that.
That.
I mean, I feel like the device, like, okay, so I think they started with the 248, right? And then the 245, they just took the middle and just stretched it. It's the same design, like literally the same design, but these got to be way fatter than they're showing in these renders because we're running
with that kind of battery size.
Yeah, well, the battery and the dimensities, there's gotta be
you gotta have active cooling.
Yes,
we'll see what
there's gotta be something.
So actually, because I want to move into a question for Russ here because you mentioned one of his devices that he likes a lot, and I'm always curious about what creators that have so many devices. Like, I want to know what is your go-to devices like on a regular? Like, what is the device that you always pick up and play?
Tell him, Russ.
So it's funny. I probably have 200 or 300 handhelds here at the studio, and that's I'm not exaggerating. And some of them are like so old that the battery is probably dead and whatnot. But and I've been trying to get rid of doubles because sometimes companies will send me multiple so I could show off different colors. And so I usually give away those other ones, and I still have at least 200, if not 300. But I only have 2 at home. And so everything else is 3 at home now that I think about it. Everything else is here at the studio. I play with them when I'm at work and, kind of mess around and do testing, and I'll throw them in my backpack when I go back and forth and whatnot. But there's only 3 that actually have permanent places, and that's Retroid Pocket Classic. So previously it was the Analog Pocket, and then it was the Ioneo DMG, and now it's the Retroid Pocket Classic. So there's a vertical handheld, like I want to play some Game Boy stuff, So that one's like sitting on my desk in a stand. Then the Odin 2 Portal, which previous to that was the Odin 2. Like it's always been like a horizontal one that I kind of like, my couch gaming one. And then my PlayStation Portal, like the ability to play PS5 in bed. You know what I mean? Like that's that's it. Those are the three that I actually keep around and play, and everything else is just kind of in various stages of testing. And so a good example of why, like say for example, the RG477M is not like my end all be all is because it didn't replace any of those. Like it's not one that's at home, it's here at the studio. And so yeah, that's about it. The Miyoo Flip also is a big one for me, like just having it around, and this is kind of like throwing in the pocket, throwing in the backpack at all times kind of handheld. But that's also one that I have a hard time recommending because of, you know, the build quality issues and whatnot.
That one you
I have a question. Really quick, I have a question because I'm also a huge fan of the Miyoo Flip, and I know that there was a bunch of controversy. A huge fan, a big fan of the Miyoo Flip. So I know there was a lot of controversy around the hinge or whatever, and I also have a 34XXSP, but I like the Flip better. Why do you go gravitate toward the Flip more than the 34?
It's the controls. You know, like I really like the controls on this. They're so light to the touch, you know. And sure, every time I open the hinge, I'm like, is this the time that it breaks? You know, like I don't know. But yeah, the controls just work. Like I like this D-pad. I like the face buttons. I got MinUI running on it. It doesn't really matter because I can run that on any of these things. And yeah, that's it. It's a good fit for me. So yeah.
I found the D-pad to be so narrow. It doesn't bother you?
No, I don't mind that. Yeah. It feels like nice and small. It
feels like it's not delicate like you.
Yeah, I guess, man. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess.
I on the Miyoo Flip, I don't know if you guys saw this, but just before I came in the podcast, I saw some renders of the Miyoo Flip V4, and they took out the joysticks. It's just D-pad and buttons.
Oh, no way.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I don't know if it's real. I mean, they were just renders, but I saw it in the retro handheld Discord. They were showing it in upcoming devices, and yeah,
that's a big change. You know, they do small iterations, things like that, but that starts to feel like it's a different device.
Right.
I like at least a Miyoo Mini Flip or whatever.
Yeah, I want one analog stick. You know, I don't need two, but I want one. You know, to be able to play arcade games and, you know, Mario 64 and stuff.
You want the Tech Tube handheld, you know, the analog stick, the Cyclops sitting right there in the center.
Right in the middle.
Right.
The My Mini. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the one with the dong.
Just give MagicX a little bit more time. They're going to come out with that super weird device, I'm sure.
What's up with your shirt, dude? I'm sorry, I have to interrupt. What is it? What's going on with your shirt?
This is me celebrating you.
Fixed.
Oh,
don't you dare!
Don't you guys remember those classic movies, right?
Oh my gosh, I hate you so much.
That's your shirt right there, man. That's totally your shirt, dude. First of all, I have to have two joysticks. Even if I'm not using both joysticks, I just have to because there's something with, like, I guess maybe I'm a little bit OCD. I don't like how a controller looks with just one. Second of all, I really like to play like twin stick shooters, even if it's like from Portmaster or from things like that. I really enjoy Portmaster. I'll squeeze Portmaster onto anything that I can. So I have to have two joysticks. And I actually like the joysticks on the Miyoo Flip. I think they have, like, they're small and they're Vita type joysticks, but they have like really good tension to me. I'm really a big stickler on tension, like even on like actual physical controllers, like console controllers. I like the Xbox Elite controller because I could tune the tension to just where I like it. I don't like a sloppy, loose joystick. So I think that those have like a perfect amount of tension to me. And I do like how silent the device is. That's the biggest thing for me. I do joke around with the guys and say, like, I have to open it prior to going into my bedroom because the hinge is like
it's so loud. Yeah.
And I have to leave it open on my nightstand when I'm done with it. I'm not gonna close it that night, you know. But it's cool to hear also that you're a fan of the Retroid Classic because that is my nightstand handheld. Like I love that. I really, to me, it's like for a long time I kept saying like it's the poor man's DMG, but it's more than that. It's grown to be more than that to me because it really is its own device and the screen is exceptional. It's really, really good. Like you don't have to play it with the fans on at all. They honestly, to me, they could have made that thing with one performance mode and non-active cooling. I forget what the term is for that.
Passive cooling.
But passive cooling. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I know it's there, but I'm like I can't remember. Yeah, passive cooling. And I think that the device it would run fine because I play it all the time in silent mode. and it's awesome. It's an awesome device to play Game Boy and everything else that I like to play on there. And I'm happy that Retroid added the option to flip the D-pad to a joystick from the drop down.
That was a pretty cool feature.
You always have to go into the settings and go to the little Retroid setting and flip that. And then I was like, God, I wish they would just add it to the quick menu so that I could just do it on the fly for my Dead Cells or whatever. And they did it. So that was really cool. Awesome.
I think that's the one device that needed one joystick. If they just slapped one joystick on it, it would have been perfect. Perfect.
I'll still consider
myself only playing. I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
There's no game that use both the joystick and the D-pad, right? Those are pretty much mutually exclusive. So what you really need is just like a good D-pad, and like a dish-style D-pad kind of mediates that a little bit, right? Because you can get a little bit more of that angled movement.
Great idea.
I agree, except for games that the joystick kind of like. The amount that you move the joystick is how fast your character moves.
The walk speed of Mario, right? It's like if you push it in a little bit.
Yeah. So other than that, I totally agree. Anyways, this D-pad is my favorite D-pad. I know that's controversial, but it is.
And pizza.
It's the one I like. Yeah.
No,
pizza.
Stop, you maniacs.
Don't tell me we're going to get into another food fight here, because we have a classic food.
We have a guest
here on the show.
Guest behavior. Yes. So I find myself, I have the classic. Well, actually just got rid of my classic because I have a black classic coming, but I found myself with that. I pretty much only play fighting games and like Game Boy games and platformers and stuff. I don't have a need for a stick on that thing. I think if I had a stick, I would use it more. I'd probably play the heck out of some Dreamcast and stuff on that thing. But I mean, I find myself just Game Boy. I know it's a weird aspect ratio, but I try to play GBA on everything. And just those kind of things on it, because the screen is so freaking beautiful on that thing. So,
I found that for Dreamcast and GBA and stuff, I use my Retroid Pocket Mini more now that it has the same screen on it. I've really enjoyed that. It's hard. Those are all really good handhelds. The classic is great because and the reason why it's just permanently at home is because I can lay in bed and play it. I like laying and playing vertical games because I can lay on my side and then just kind of put it on its side too, and then just play like Final Fantasy one-handed. And so that's always been a really good setup for me.
Oh, that's pretty smart. I never thought of doing that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think about that too.
That's just like a
actually, hey, really quick. Well, that is every week we ask our guests their preference between pinto beans and black beans.
Make the right decision, Russ. Give us the right answer, Russ.
Oh man. Well, so it really depends. I mean, you guys, I don't know if you guys know my background, right? But I was a chef and I wrote some cookbooks and stuff, right? So gosh. So I like black beans when it comes to like corn tortillas and like eggs, like that kind of Central American way of like eating things. But if I'm just going to be like at a Mexican restaurant and I'm getting beans and rice, I just go with pinto beans. Like that's fine for me. So
now, are we talking pinto beans or refried pinto beans?
No, pinto beans.
They're the same thing, But yeah, if I have the choice, it would be refried beans and rice, Okay.
But see, refried. We ain't counting it as pinto. You lost Jedi.
I mean, what bean are they using to make that?
I know.
To be fair, everybody knows that black refried beans are the better refried beans.
No, they don't. This guy was a chef. No. Seriously?
Yeah.
I was
like black beans. It's like
you guys don't give me crap.
Russ, if you're doing a cookbook,
you're in a hot dog cart. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, Russ, if you're doing a cookbook and you're doing a dish with chicken, don't put pictures of the cat chicken in the dish with chicken. It makes things very confusing.
My gosh.
It does. Yeah. Actually, my cat chicken, she did appear in my first book. She was in it. It wasn't a chicken recipe, but I had her in the background. It was like a little teaser. So
now I gotta ask, if I buy all of these books, can I mail them to you and you'll sign them?
I mean, if you really want to, yeah, I'm happy to do that. But the third one's
I'm on a journey to find them now.
I've got one, and I've convinced myself I'm going to go paleo, and then I get really lazy and busy, and then the Doritos, they just keep calling.
It's a shame because my third book is the one that's not so niche when it comes to like diet food and stuff. Like the other two, were made with a publisher and had specific visions for it. But that third one was like my book. Like I spent 4 years writing it. It was everything I wanted. I'm the one that designed every page and everything. But it was a limited run. It was self-published. I only made like 800 copies and then that was it. And so that one you can't find other than on ebooks, and so it's a shame because that's the one I'm like so proud of and no one can buy it anymore.
So do you have a spare copy at home? Because if so, I have dibs.
Yeah, I got some to prove now.
I've got 3. I've got one for me and then one each for my 2 kids when they're older. So that's
oh, that's so cool.
Michael walked away. I bet you he's got it, Russ. You're gonna have to.
I can't get in between that. I bet you, Michael. Yeah,
Michael's got one of the 800.
That's really cool. That's really, really cool. The
funny thing about
that you were a chef.
Yeah, the funny thing about that third book too is I actually, when I got them all printed, they went to a warehouse in Portland, Oregon, and I flew to Portland and I hand signed and hand numbered every single one of them before shipping them out.
Oh,
and so now if they ever show up on eBay, I know who sold it because I have the number.
Your book?
That's funny. There it is.
There it is. So that's my first one right there. Yeah.
And the last one is like, what is it called? It's like home.
The Heritage Cookbook.
Yeah. The Heritage Cookbook. That's what it is.
Yeah. And it's about like genetics and DNA and like eating in line with your ancestry. And so I did a lot of food history research for that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
With my ignorance, I'm going to preface it by saying with my ignorance, with all these cookbooks and these talks about drinks and snacks, why are you not a fat guy?
I have real good like
he eats with his heritage
and discipline.
He eats with his heritage. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I usually, I just eat I hate this word, but I eat very clean, so I'm just like, I just eat meat, vegetables, and then a starch, usually rice or potatoes, and that's it. I don't eat bread or any of that stuff. And so that's probably part of it. I don't snack or anything, even though I say grab a snack and drink. Like I'm not actually doing that.
Oh, so you're like do as I say, not as I do kind of. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I want you guys to get fat and watch my videos.
Yeah, man. If we get fat, then we can't get up from the couch. We have to keep watching
That's
videos.
Right.
Oh, dude, you're right. That's kind of crazy.
You did all the photography for your book?
So it's joint. So I have a good friend of mine. Like we kind of did it together. But yeah, for the most part, it's like 2/3 me, and then 1/3 are like the ones that are a little bit over my skill level, and so I would have my friend help me out with those.
Yeah, this is some incredible photos of your
Thank
food.
you. Yeah. What's funny is that, being a food photographer, you have to have like a million surfaces, to take all these pictures, like pretend it's a table, pretend it's whatever, like stuff like that, and then all the dishes.
I'm violating copyright right now. We're gonna.
No, it's all good. But then all the dishes and everything else that you have to have, all the forks and knives for every photo, and napkins and stuff. So when I finished the book in 2019, I was like, I'm never going to make another book. Like I'm done. And so I gave all that stuff away because we were moving back to Hawaii at the time too. And all those services would have been so cool for thumbnails for retro handhelds. And I don't have them.
Oh man.
And so I started over from scratch. I'm like, now I got to buy new surfaces because I'm making all these photos.
That's
for
funny.
Retro
That's
handhelds.
funny.
So a lot of the skills that I learned in taking photos of food is the same skills I'm applying when I like take my thumbnail photos. The same thing.
So question, do you think you're gonna hold steady to that, or do you think there's a possibility you may write another cookbook someday?
Oh no, I'm done. Like it's so
You're
much
done?
like you got to be in it. You know what I mean? Like just with retro handhelds, right? If you lose sight of like kind of what you're doing, like you lose your skills, it kind of atrophies and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm a one focus kind of guy, right? Like I was doing that food stuff and I did that for 10 years. And then I was like, I'm ready, I'm done to move on. And then, a few months later, the whole retro handheld thing popped up. And so now I'm in that. And so I can't do both. At this point, I don't even make dinner anymore. My wife makes dinner because I'm working long hours, but she cooks out of my cookbook. So it's awesome.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Oh, so it feels like you're cooking.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, oh, I made this recipe. And I'm like,
I tried to explain like our hobby to other people, and they're just like, don't they play the exact same old games? Like, why do you need a new system? You don't need 15, 17 different ways to not finish the original Legend of Zelda.
Right.
Like, you just go do that first.
Yeah. At that point, I check out of the conversation. I tell them they were no longer friends, and I walk away.
Yeah.
I walk away. And sometimes they'll get the fingers. I'm walking away too.
Yeah, it's like people collect shoes or whatever, right? Like you only need one pair of shoes, right?
For real.
Yeah, so it's the same kind of thing, where it's just hobbies are hobbies, and thankfully, as long as you don't buy every INEO devices they come out, it can be a relatively affordable hobby.
Lee.
I haven't done that since the
one that came out last
had
week.
issues. Yeah, had issues with them.
Are you familiar with the story of Handheld Hoarder Lee? He has literally a spicy pillow in his closet. This guy he's collected storage. Yeah, he has a spicy pillow storage. He has, and you're Russ Retro Game Corps, right? And you said you have probably over 200 devices, and you're a huge content creator. And my boy Lee here, he's a collector, and he's got you beat by a long shot.
He's got 300 under the desk he's sitting at right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
They hold his desk up. Yeah.
So Lee, what do you do for charging? Like how do you maintain them? For me, I'll tell you what I do and then I'll hear you. But I do a video like every 2 to 3 days, and the day that I release a video is like my down day. And I usually will pick like 3 or 4 handhelds and I'll just charge them and like check the SD cards on them. And I just kind of rotate, and that's how I do it. So how do you do it?
Well, I think Lee's answer is going to be really short. I just want to preface it with that. But
yeah. When a handheld comes in, I usually open it. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Then I close it and I put it in the closet. So when I actually get around, like in the RH channel, in the Owls chat, I actually had a wheel that had every single name of every handheld on it, and I'd spin it every month. And the handheld that came up, I would play the game of the month on it. And when I was doing that, I would pull it out of the closet. First thing I would do is open it up, make sure that I didn't have a spicy pillow in there. I was about to blow myself up, and as long as the battery was in the right shape, I would put it back together and then I would charge it. But yeah, about the same thing. I'd probably have maybe maximum 3 handhelds fully charged at a time. It's just
okay.
Yeah, they just sit there and decharge themselves, and sometimes they never turn back on.
You're playing with fire. The short answer is like I don't charge them. I don't.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sometimes they don't turn back on. They're just like you plug it in and nothing happens. You got okay, it's dead.
Yeah, I got a few like that. It kind of hurts my heart, but yeah, like I've got a couple Anbernics that just don't power on anymore, which is just a shame. But it's been 5 years, for some of them.
Yeah. I'm the same way. So sometimes they won't turn on. I sometimes can find the battery replacements on AliExpress, but it's very rare that I find the batteries. So I used to buy double of every single handheld that came out, and then I stopped doing that because they were just stacking up so much. And really, the doubles or the duplicates are the only thing I've ever sold on RH. And I always sell them like super low because I just want to get rid of them, get more space.
I mean, speaking of which, like, did you guys hear? Did the Energizer Bunny went to jail?
Oh no!
What? He was charged with battery.
Oh my gosh! Oh my god!
I get at least one.
Yeah, you did. You had to.
500 watt clean power adapters. Would that work? I don't know if that.
I think the FBI will come to your door if you had a setup like that. Like,
yeah, that's basically like a reactor.
Dude.
It's like this one house is taking all the power in the whole entire grid.
Yeah. Like everybody's power goes out on your whole street, and they know who it was. They know who it was.
Yeah, we always joke about it that like I just got a whole closet of like spicy pillows just waiting to go off. Like one just has to go off, and then they would all go off.
And react all like a domino effect.
So I have a question for you, Russ, that I know everybody in the community wants to know because it's been going around for a while, and we just need to know, like, and we won't tell anybody. Nobody will ever see this. Are you texting me?
No. He we, honestly, I've never actually spoken to Tech Dweeb before. Like, a lot of guys will like, have him on podcasts or like chat with him and stuff. I've never actually done that. We will do DMs, on Discord and stuff, but I've never actually talked to him. So I don't know what his non-dweeb voice sounds like. I don't know what he looks like. Like, it's kind of fun, but I want it that way. Like, I want the mystery, and so, yeah, like it's kind of unique, and we definitely have some similarities, I think, just in regular life and stuff, but he plays a character and I don't. I'm just literally just me. I turn on the camera and it's me talking. He actually is thinking about things and coming up with lore and stuff. He's got that really active imagination and stuff. So it's really cool. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm not the same person as Tech Dweeb. That whole April Fool's video, all his idea. He sent me a script and all that stuff. And so I just sat down and recorded. He sent me a shirt too. He sent me the shirt, he sent me the script and said, just record these parts. And that's all I knew, and it's hard because when he records, he doesn't show his face. So he doesn't have to look at the camera while he's talking. He just reads while he talks, but the way he wrote the script was basically like he was expecting me to read it and not look at the camera, but I had to look at the camera. And so I had to memorize each of those things, which were like a full-on paragraph. And because he's like, oh, just ad-lib it. I'm like, I don't really ad-lib, even though, my videos aren't scripted. If I'm having to say something specific, I want to actually memorize it. So it took me like 6 hours to make my 5 minutes of content because I was memorizing it word for word. And then I felt like an actor, you know what I mean? I'm like looking at the camera. I'm like, recite your lines, Russ, Yeah. And so that was, I don't think he realized how much work he gave me by sending me that script because it took me all day just to make that little part. So
he's going to be the master of lighting just to make sure his face doesn't show up like in the handhelds, like as he's doing.
Oh, right.
He's so good. Yeah.
No, he does. He actually gives me. So Tech Dweeb, man, I love Tech Dweeb. First of all, I'll just say that. Like, he's been a really, really helpful. He's been a helpful guide to me on my YouTube journey. Like from the beginning, when I was probably 200 subs in, he was already messaging with me on Discord and giving me little pointers like, hey, work on this, you did really good on that, I like this segment, how about shortening the length, and just helping me out. And then he'll give me pointers on like, hey, you need to do this with your lighting, it's better to record at night because then you won't get your face on the screen. And like, so he's such an awesome dude. And he actually had me work on a project recently. And while I was recording, and it's funny because you said like you felt like an actor. While I'm recording, I said it to the camera in one of the segments. It's like, Dweeb, I just want you to know you're making me feel like I'm modeling or something because you want these shots where it's like this and like look at like dude, he's very specific when he asks you for helping him on a project. Like he already has the vision, right? And he just needs you to complete that for him. So, but I wouldn't turn it down for anything. It's an awesome experience. He's a very cool guy and a very humble guy.
Totally.
I haven't had the opportunity to speak with him, like voice to voice. Our relationship is very similar to yours, where it's strictly DMs. We're back and forth. I mean, we do talk a little bit more personal sometimes, depending on the matter. Like little information here or there that it's not part of his character, which is cool to like know that like I got insider information nobody else knows, like I would never let that out. But he's a really, really cool guy. And actually, I'm really excited to say that we're going to have him on, I believe, next month. So that will be the first time that I will actually, because I've been talking to Tech Dweeb for probably over a year now. And it'll be the first time that I've ever actually spoken to Tech Dweeb. So that would be fun.
Awesome. Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, he's super cool guy, and I just love the amount of creativity he has. It's just it's amazing. And he just hit 200,000 subscribers, which is just crazy, And he's very well aware that like people are annoyed by him and his voice and stuff. And so he's very good at like kind of compensating for that. He makes his videos 15 minutes long. That way he doesn't overstay his welcome. Like he's very good and smart about that stuff. I just hit record and I'm like, this is going to be an hour-long video. Sorry, guys, and it's like, I just do it. And I love that he thinks through all that kind of stuff. It's just, totally
I'm not gonna lie.
So
sometimes I watch your videos and I have to like I'll watch it while I'm like cooking something, and then it's like I have to serve or whatever. Now I have to pause it, so I might come back to the same video 4 or 5 times, just to get through it. And it's like, but I'm gonna finish it. But it's like okay, those little bite-sized segments, I see where that works and why Dweeb sticks to that format, you know. But for you, it's like you do tutorials, you're teaching people how to do certain things, and you're not going to be able to squeeze all of that information into a 12-minute segment unless your name is Retrospect, because that guy sounds like the end of a Cialis commercial. The disclaimer. That's my boy. Just play it selfish. We love you, dude. We love you, man.
Yeah, but it's very true. You know, like I'm very detail oriented, and I also, when I hit record, I'm assuming that person's never seen a video about any of this stuff before, and so I do baseline every time. You know, TechDweeb has words that are the other word for an Anbernic device. He says like whatever doohickey and doodad, and he's got names for these things, and he doesn't explain it. He just assumes you're part of the lore, right? And that saves him so much time. Me, I'm like, okay, I just said this. Let me explain why I said this. You know, how many times have I explained the contra test? It just drives me nuts. But it's just one of those things that I want a newcomer to be able to jump in and watch the video. So it's why they're so long.
I think
there's that makes sense.
There's a value in that because it comes back to your teaching background, because every one of your videos is like a history lesson and a teacher thing, and it adds context to it and it makes it valuable. And I think that's why I appreciate it. So I got into this stuff. So I'm old, right? And I've been gaming. I had an original Atari 2600. That's how old I am, right? And my first experience with emulation was watching ETA Prime videos with Raspberry Pis, the original Raspberry Pi, learning it. And then, you know, my first handheld was PSP and stuff, and learning that stuff. But during COVID, you know, no, actually it was after COVID, when COVID was a big deal, when it was cleaning up, my wife had sent me a TikTok video. Little did she know that we were going to be dead broke because I spent all my money handhelds years later, right? She sent me a TikTok video. She's like, you should, I'm surprised you don't have one of these. And I can't remember what it was. It might have been an Anbernic or something. Who knows? I think it was an RGB 20 or something. And I started reading about it because I'm the guy that researches everything. And I found your channel. And that's how I kind of got into it and learned about them. And I think there's something to the longer format where if you're learning something, whereas when my videos are longer, I'm just babbling on and being an idiot, right? So, you know, but like there's education with peers and it adds value to it. So, I mean, but and I remember, I want to say it was the RP3 is what I was watching when I discovered your channel. The original RP3, it might have been RP2, or I can't remember. It was one of those two, but where I discovered your channel, and that's what I ended up getting into, kind of breaking into the hobby. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, look, I need to support my handheld. We all blame Russ for that. We all blame Russ for that. So
I do. I think I don't think I've ever mentioned this, but I think Russ was the first person that I seen with one of these retro doodads, as TechDweeb would say. You know, and because I remember, I mean, I think, you know, but you started at the perfect time, right? Like, I mean, not, you know, to say that it was a light moment in history, right? But it was like everybody was looking for something to do. And so it was like I was probably watched more YouTube in that time than I ever have in my life.
Yep.
And so I found, and I'm like, I mean, I always emulated, right? Like on the phones, on the Androids and stuff like that. And I've always been a gamer. Like I always go back to Game Boy Advance because I've probably spent the most time in my life playing Game Boy Advance. And so I've always played on the phones and emulation, but I never considered, I had found one of these things like years ago, but it was so trash. It was like a 1 in 300 device or whatever you call those things.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Amaclone. Yeah.
Man, I was like, God, this thing's horrible. I'm better off playing on my whatever my phone was at the time. It's like it's so janky. And so I stayed away from them for a while. And the spirit was there, yes.
The original BitBoy, the precursor to Miyoo, like it was a Famiclone, and it was terrible, but also wonderful because it was just a nugget, you know, of what was to come.
Yep. Yeah, it's funny. Like I learned on video, like everything. Like, so the first time I ever touched Android was the Retroid Pocket 2. I didn't even know like how to use Android at all. Like I had just had an iPhone before that,
no
you know.
touchscreen.
I know it was bad, no touchscreen, you know.
Yeah.
But that's like I learned all of these things, like what scaling meant, what shaders meant, all that stuff I learned like throughout my channel. And so that's always been my approach, is like, I'm gonna learn this stuff, might as well do it in front of you guys too. And so I make a lot of mistakes in the videos, which is fine, like because I then learn from it and then just kind of move on. And yeah, it's been a wild ride. And yeah, same thing, you know, for me during COVID, I was just looking for something to do. The Navy sent me home for like 6 months, or like, don't come back. And I was so bored after a bit. And
what do you do when you have so much structure and then like all of a sudden it's like 6 months, get out of here, you got to go anywhere?
They're like they're like, just sign in on Microsoft Teams for an hour at this time and that's your day. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And man, I got so bored. And so yeah, I heard about a handheld. I got a handheld and I was like, let's just do this. And so that's what I'm doing now.
What's your favorite?
Funny you say like that you. I'm sorry. Really
no,
quick.
go.
It's funny you say that you learn as you while you're teaching, basically. You know, because that's the same thing that I said on RH. Is like, you know, I'm not a teacher. I'm a student just like everybody else. I'm learning. You know, that's why I'm open to comments. Like I've learned so much stuff from the comments section. I'm pretty sure we all have. Where it's like just there's a guy out there that just knows a bit more than you, and it's like, hey, you actually, you know, there's a button combo for that or this or that. Yeah. And it's like, oh man, I didn't catch that. Thank you, actually. So I teach as I learn.
You're in a nerd community. We love telling people that they're wrong.
Yeah,
that works out great. That works out.
Yeah, like a really good example is, you know, this Retroid dual screen thing, right? So I just did a video released today talking about input latency, and I tested like, you know, 3DS games and everything else. And one of the Azahard developers left a comment in my video. It's like, hey, if you're going to test latency, turn off VSync, which we have enabled in the debug menu. And so I went and I found it, I turned it off, and it improved the latency by a bunch. And so that's so cool. Like the dev himself was like, hey, try this out, you know, like I recognize the name in my comments, you know. And then so I just left a pinned comment in the video. I was like, I was obviously wrong in the video. Like this was the latency numbers I had then. These are the numbers now. We all like learn together. And I'm sure, like Mike was saying, you know, there's going to be somebody who's like, I can't believe he didn't know to turn off the VSync, right? Somebody's going to say that. And I'm like, yeah, you probably didn't know either. You just want to leave that comment, you know? So that's how the internet works. And
that's what Reddit is for. It's a vacuum of both knowledge and trolling. It is a library under a bridge with the trolls.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But it's a fun learning experience for me. So now I know anytime I'm going to be doing latency testing to turn off VSync in Azahar. I might just turn it off in general just because it doesn't cause any sort of, you know, like screen tearing or anything. So why would I need to have it on? So I think I'm just going to turn it off. It's good to know.
That's a good
What were you going to ask, Jedi? I know you were.
We were just talking about you mentioned the GBA. I was curious what Russ's favorite system to emulate was. And I don't know if it's NES, you know, I know everybody talks about the Contra test and stuff like that. And so funny thing, man, I wish I had the hindsight. Should have had my mom here, had her challenge Russ to a Contra game. So my mom's 75 years old and she can run Contra without the 30 lives hack.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, my mother's an OG gamer. And she was
ruthless. That's awesome.
Kid, we play games and she kicked your butt, wouldn't let you win. Nothing.
That's awesome. Yeah. So my console of choice, my favorite to play is usually NES because that's like my system I got when we were in kindergarten. Like I was in kindergarten when we got it, you know. So like that's my like kind of system of choice. But to emulate, I get a little bit of thrill by emulating Super Nintendo because that's a system I wanted and didn't have. We got the Genesis because it was cheaper, you know. And so I would always go to friends' houses and play Super Nintendo. So I always felt like I was playing on borrowed time, where I was like, okay, I don't have enough time to actually play through this game. And now I've got them all in my pocket. And so that still gives me a little bit of thrill. And so if I am going to sit down to play a game, like I enjoy Super Nintendo a little bit better just because it's like I'm finally getting to do the thing I couldn't do when I was a kid. And so that's usually what I play.
What's your favorite SNES game?
You know, it's probably Mario World, like the first one. And I still haven't beaten it. I have not gotten far in that game. But I'm the kind of guy, though, I like just replaying the same levels. You know what I mean?
Never beaten Mario World?
I've never beaten Mario World, no.
Russ!
Never.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And
I don't know what Mario World is. Like, that's the Mario version. but I'm pretty sure he said Mario World.
But yeah, it's for me, it's all about like replaying a moment and like kind of perfecting it, not speed running. Like I don't like that part of it, but like just getting a perfect run. Like I play the same level in Ridge Racer every time. Like, can I get a better score or feel better about that run? You know, and same thing with Mario World. I get to like the first couple ghost houses. Right when it gets to the point where it forks out and there's multiple ways to beat a level, I kind of nope out at that point. I'm like, nah, that's too much. Like, I just want to play my way, that one way, and then do that.
I'm totally blown away by that. I am blown away by that.
A lot of this is comfort food. Like, I appreciate that the handheld people are doing like the game of the day, game of the month, game of the week and stuff, because it kind of forces you into it. Okay, let's actually play the games like we're renting it from Blockbuster and we got a time limit. We got to go get the stuff done. But at the end of the day, if I'm just trying to relax, I'm going to go back to an old favorite.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. The note here about VSync, just one quick note on that. So the developer said that essentially with Azahar, when the game stutters, the VSync never catches up. And so that's what causes the delay. So the longer you play a game with VSync turned on, the more lag you're going to get. And so that's why he recommended turning off VSync. So it's a really interesting kind of method for that. And I'm not sure why they have it on by default if it causes that problem. But yeah, just total aside there for that.
It gets worse over time.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Interesting.
Hey, you know, so Super Mario World is actually probably my favorite SNES game of all time as well. And it's actually like what you said is a great point, because one of my favorite things about Super Mario World is like there's no right way to play it. You play it how you want. If you want to speed run, you can speed run. If you want to, you know, do what you said, just play the same levels over and try to get better at the level each time. Like, if you want to just take your time and try to figure out the fastest way to get to the boss, you know, like there's so many ways to play the game, and there's no wrong way, really. It's a fun game. So I want to follow that question up with, what is your favorite cozy game?
So I don't play a lot of cozy games because I don't so Animal Crossing is like the first thing I think about. And it's like, that is so far from what I like in a game. Like, I don't want to get new stuff to put on the walls of my little house. Like, to me, that's like, I could just buy stuff and put on the house here. Like, I don't want to do real life things in a game, right? I want to do magical stuff.
I'm with you,
my favorite, my like most comforting game, this is probably crazy, is Celeste. Because, and again, I don't try to play the harder, like later levels. I play the early stuff. I like the idea of kind of going through and just kind of finding little secrets as I'm going through and whatnot. It's very similar to that Mario World experience, but that's like if I'm just going to sit down, I'm just going to relax for 20 minutes. Like, I'll usually run through like the first couple levels of Celeste, and I really enjoy that.
The classic
Celeste as a cozy game is crazy,
right? Isn't that
game
funny?
Drives me insane.
Oh, no, it's so good, so good. Like the PQA version or the Steam version?
The Steam one, like the widescreen.
That one is way more in depth, and that's got So,
and the controls are just, I love the grabbing onto the side of the wall, and be able to scoot down and stuff. So I really love that.
Do you use cheats?
No, never used them. Yeah, but I've never beat the game either. Like, I'm pretty far in it. I have like multiple save games. I got it on my Switch. I got it on Steam. I got it on some handhelds and stuff. But I've never gotten to like I don't know. I'm probably 2/3, maybe 3/4 of the way done with the game.
So Matt, you're an older gentleman. It's okay to put some of those accessibility.
That's what I'm saying. So I use cheats and everything. And hit my theory. I was alive for all these consoles. I played them OG like originally. That's why I'm not interested in FPGA and analog pocket and stuff. So when I'm replaying them now, I'm using cheats, man, because I already played.
No, I'm definitely the same way. Like, I play in the easiest difficulty possible, right? If there is a slider, and it's like, I just want to be Superman. Like, I don't care about like challenge and that kind of stuff. If I'm going to be playing a fantasy life, I'm going to just wreck it, And so I usually will play the easiest mode possible. And if there are cheats, like, for example, a good example was like the Zelda, like Breath of the Wild and whatnot. When I emulate those, I 100% turn on that durability cheat because I hate my sword breaking. Like, it's so stupid. And so I just turn that on and I'm like, all right, now I'm a superhero. I don't really care, And so I totally get that. We should be able to play the games the way that we want to because we're the ones relaxing and playing them, And so totally get all that. Yeah.
You hear that? You hear that, Tula? He sets it for easy so he can play the campaign. You don't play games with too loud. Don't play Destiny. He wants everything to be challenge mode, and he wants everything to do it. And he wants you to do it with this with the gun that you spawned with originally on your level 1. One tip of ammo. Remember when we first run out of regular
You're taking
ammo?
it too far now. Taking it too far.
Yeah.
Original
He's like,
gun.
close your left eye. Close your left eye. Close your left eye.
I guess that's what you get for Warframe players. Like Warframe players, you can take a level 1 Warframe, you can go into a fight, and you'll probably come out alive. But in Destiny, it's just like
terrible.
You're level 1, and you know when you have Jedi that can't even hit anything, it's obvious 2 levels not going to get through the level.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Hey,
it leads into another question. So, what do you like modern games when you want to play? I'm just testing, just on your own time. Is there any newer games, modern games that that are capturing your attention?
Destiny, duh.
Yeah, I do play Destiny from time to time, but all my buddies aren't around anymore for playing Destiny. You know, we had a group in the original Destiny and all the way up to like the Taken King and stuff. And then we all splintered off. And so I really just run what they call strikes, you know. And so I do play that from time to time. But honestly, I'm usually running through a few campaigns at once. Right now, I'm like trying to finish Indiana Jones. What else am I playing right now? I finished Expedition 33. My other fallback for like modern games is Hades. You know, I've probably done a couple hundred runs of Hades at this point, which is, you know, a good 80 hours or so. In that game, that's a lot for me. So yeah, that's probably my other main modern game.
Yeah. Here, let's transition to this.
It's time for question of the day.
So funny story, Russ. We actually Jedi is the composer of these songs. We're
not
making them, not the singer. Yeah, not the singer.
No. Yeah, that's all me. That's my voice. Can't you tell?
We have 0 views if he's saying.
So we're making them, and we cannot get this dang machine to say your name correctly.
Oh my god!
Originally, it was like it's time for question of the day, Russ. It is like Roost, Ras, Rius. Like it was hard. I was like, dude, it's not that hard, bro. It's Russ. Like,
and the rest of it is incredible. It's like question of the day. Yeah, man, I want to do it. It sounded so good. It was like, Ruas, this question. I'm like, come on. So we had asked you had a really good question of the day. Do you remember it? Or you need me to? Did you tell me?
I remember. Yeah,
I remember.
brother. So it's a 2-parter, but one is like, is there a handheld that you love that most people seem to hate? And then is there a handheld that you hate that most people seem to love?
Who wants to go first?
I need a minute.
I mean, I can go because I know my answers. You know what I mean? So, so we've already talked about both of them already today. So one that I love that everyone hates is usually going to be the Miyoo Flip, right? Because you can't say something nice about this without 5 people telling you something bad about it, right? Something about the hinge or whatever, right? So I get all that, but it doesn't change that I like it, you know? And so that's one that I love that a lot of other people hate. And then one that I don't like that a lot of people love is the Odin 2 Mini. And I don't know what it is. You know, like I'm in a secluded island here in Hawaii. I've only seen 2 Odin 2 Minis in the wild. The review unit I was sent initially, and then a white one that they sent me maybe 2 months ago. The screens on both are terrible. Like I cannot get over how bad this display is. It gets washed out with the higher end in terms of brightness. Everything, the blues look off, the reds look off, and so it just drives me nuts. I've gotten over some of the other things about it, like it gets pretty warm, you know, but I'm okay with that. Like it's just those colors in the screen and stuff. I'd love to see another one, but I would want a 5.5 inch display and OLED. Basically, the Retroid Pocket 5 screen in the Odin 2 Mini would be like amazing for me. So those are my 2. Like, yeah, I love the Miyoo Flip, and then I also not a huge fan of the Odin 2 Mini.
Thor is kind of a mini. It's a flippy mini, but it's still a mini.
Right.
One I love that other people hate is the RG Arc. I think it just didn't get enough love, you know, because of the power, and it didn't play Saturn and had to think. But I mean, for me, that thing was all I did was play fighting games and Pico 8 on it. That's all I did. I ran Retro Arena on it, and I just fighting games and Pico 8, and I love that device. The ergonomics, the thing's if you haven't had it, it's a monster, man, for a 4-inch device. But I love it. And the other one that I'm blown away by it that people love that I just hate is the TrimUR Smart Pro. I mean, like I know you, I don't think you were a fan of this other one, but I think the RGB 10 Max 3 is such a much better device. I think sticks, the ergonomics, the everything about it, you know, except for maybe how pretty the screen is on the Trim Smart Pro. I like better on the 10 Max 3. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the Smart Pro at all. I've never liked it. I hate how tiny the D-pad is, and I'm just not a fan.
They're good choices.
For the record, I'm also not a fan. I sold mine to Matt, and then Matt proceeded to sell it to somebody else.
Yeah. Matt only sells handhelds that he loves.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Do you want?
I sold my Portal today, Russ, in anticipation of the Thor, and my Portal is my fight with these guys. I took that thing everywhere with me. I take it.
Oh man,
all over the world with me. So yeah.
Yeah.
My worry about the Thor is that my worry about the Thor is it's going to get warm. You know, because that is a small.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Form factor with that bottom part. You know, like they're looking at 3DS here. It's like that could get pretty hot, I bet. And so hopefully the cooling keeps it down. But that's my one worry.
It's a stopgap to the Odin 3. That's all it is, buddy.
Well, the plus side is that they have the screen on the bottom, right? So they could push some of the heat out of the bottom, and probably why they went with glass on the top, so that you know the plastic doesn't warp or anything like that, because it's probably gonna get really warm.
Yeah,
it might be toasty, but we'll see, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so what is it? Handhelds you love that other people hate? I'm actually gonna go with this guy. It took a lot of heat. I know it was delayed, but I really like the AYN Loki.
Oh my god!
There's a couple of things about this. It's a little bit heavier. This is the Loki Zero, a little bit heavier, but it's got the D-pad inset a little bit more, so you're not hitting it as you go down. Like there were some lessons learned from this that I hope they consider when doing the Odin 3.
I think so.
Now,
Loki was pretty cool.
Because the handheld that I hate that everybody loves, R36S.
What is wrong with you?
I know.
What is wrong with you? How do we kick them off?
There's just something about that device. The buttons are bad. The screen is okay, but a little bit mediocre. Like you have to do it's a great tinkering device, but you have to do so much just to get it to be good. You could have bought a better handheld.
Oh my gosh.
I think that G350 from the non-Anbernic Battle XP or whatever, I think that kind of took over for me. You know, I could appreciate the R36S, but yeah, it had a lot of jank to it too.
Okay,
there's definitely a time and a place. It's the cheapest port master.
I just want to say blasphemy. Yeah. Blasphemy. Like R36S all day. I love it. Freaking $25 handheld that I could take out of the house and not give a crap if it falls, breaks, whatever. At the G350, I can appreciate what it offered to the scene. It is a very, very good handheld. But I mean, the R36S, to me at this point, it's just special to me. Like I've had them for. Like I have some on my desk. Like, I've had them since I started my channel. When I started my channel with the R36S, a lot of the community was like bashing them, and I was like, at that moment I had a 353V, and I had the R36S, and I had people ask me like 353V or R36S, and I'm like, R36S, and like there was literally people in my comments like flaming me, like, are you crazy? What a big difference in device and blah blah blah. I'm like, well, wait, but listen, I understand. I love the 353 lineup is one of my favorite lineups from Anbernic to date. And just the dual boot, the Linux and the Android, I really enjoyed that. And the 353P is one of my all-time favorite devices. Very, very comfortable, super nostalgic, just so cool. But I think the R36S was really awesome for what it was. It's a super budget handheld. Anybody can get into it. And I think we take it for granted here in the US because like we have access to so much stuff, right? And our income is a lot better than a lot of people in poorer countries. So I think like with the R36S, it gave an entryway to people who really can't afford to get into a lot of these handhelds. And I think it was really good. Plus, on top of that, ArcOS is my favorite, custom firmware, period. So I think that I really, really enjoyed it. Are the buttons clicky? Sure, yeah, they are. There's no getting around that, right? But I'm also a PC gamer who uses mechanical keyboards, and those are clicky, right? Like I'm literally watching people who hate the R36S and talk about how clicky they are. put clicky keys into their Steam Decks. Like they're buying them, they're paying for this and calling it an upgrade. And I'm like, yo, so it's okay for your Steam Deck because you bought them, but because the R36S has clicky keys, it's a big deal, right? So
are you watching them on stream?
Switches. Like
you're watching them on streaming, you could barely hear them talk about how they hate the R36 because their keyboards like clack 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 clack.
Yeah. So I think, is it the best? No, right? Absolutely not. It's not the best. But is it really, really good for what you pay for? It is. It really is. And when I'm playing a game, I'm not like focused on the keys and stuff. Most of the time, I'm in the middle of my living room with 17 kids playing WWE in real life, and I can't hear the game anyway. I can't hear the buttons. I'm focused on the screen and the game and trying to tune them out. So it was fine for me. But back to the QOTD, and I'm with Russ on the device that I love that everybody seems to hate, and that's the Flip. I really, really love the Miyoo Flip. I do. But I'm lucky, right? I have a sample of one, and mine hasn't broken, and I open that hinge almost every day. So, like, come on, I think it's an exceptional device. I really, really enjoy it. And then for a device that I don't like, that everybody seems to love, I guess I would say, I mean, Matt kind of took it with the TSP, because that would definitely be one, because everybody loves that dang thing, and I just couldn't get around to it. Like I tried so much. I got Portmaster on there. I did everything to try to make myself love it, and I couldn't love it. I loved how it looked. I love anything that looks like a PSP, PSP, PS Vita. I love that aesthetic. It's super cool. The screen was gorgeous. I just didn't really love anything else about it. So as far, I think the 34XX-H, that's the device that I hate that everybody seems to love. The one that actually looks like a Game Boy Advance.
Right.
Like,
34XX.
I hate it. I don't like that device. Not a little bit. It's so chunky. The R1, R2 are in such an awkward place. I think Anbernic did a crap job giving them all the same color buttons. One thing I'm really like, my devices have to aesthetically please me, and that one does not. It just doesn't. And I think it's just overhyped. I get the nostalgia part, but I'm also one that I never had that Game Boy Advance. I always had an SP, or my favorite, which is really outside of the norm, was the Game Boy Micro. That was my favorite, because I was in the Army at the time. Sometimes I get 24-hour duty, and I'm not supposed to really have electronics, and I'll just shove it up my sleeve when somebody's coming. So like, that was my go-to. And so those are mine. I think that's a solid QOTD too. Like, very good question. It's gonna stir some people up.
Oh yeah,
but it just shows we're all different. Like, we're all definitely different. We have different vibes, different things, and we like things for different reasons, right? Some of us, it's for a nostalgic reason. Like, I'm pretty sure there's people out there that the 34XX is their favorite one of all the handhelds. Or the TSP. I know a lot of people who really love the TSP, like, love it. And I'm with Matt. I can't see why. Like, actually, that's a question. I think that's a good question for Russ. Is like, why so much love for the TSP, but like not like the RGB 10 Max 3? Like, it was capable of everything the same.
TSP's thinner, fits in your pocket.
Yeah, I think a lot of it had to do with just AliExpress sales, because there was one that was really pushed out to like third-party vendors and stuff. And so people started undercutting each other. And so all of a sudden you could get the device for $50, And at that price point, getting something wide and with that bigger screen, it just kind of had this kind of viral kind of thing going. It's like what was it called? The RGB 20SX or something. It was one of those 20S or something where it went viral on TikTok, and it was like one of the biggest sellers of that year. It's the one with the tiger on it, right? That is a terrible handheld. I'd rather play the R36S than that one, right? But I agree. It sold so many because it just had that viral factor. Right. And so that I think happened with the TrimUI Smart Pro. I can see why people love it. And I think for that price point, it's really kind of cool. I did a follow-up video just because so many people loved it. I was like, all right, let's give it another shot, and that video got a lot of views, which was kind of crazy. But I think it's all that same kind of viral aspect to it.
Yeah, good answer. I think and it's a good looking device. Like when you just look at it sitting on your desk or something, you can't go wrong. Sony is so good at making aesthetically pleasing devices that when a company copies that design language, it's gonna sell some units because they're really like look at how gorgeous the Vita is
all
still
glass front.
this many years later.
Beautiful. Yeah, totally beautiful.
Yeah.
We're only catching up with all glass fronts.
Hey, what's your answer, Lee?
Okay, so I have a lot of customized handhelds, some that are so niche that people would probably never see them in their whole entire lives. Lots of them are customized in China, and but when the one right now, because like it switches quite often for me, but the one right now that I think I enjoy a lot that people hate, KTR1.
Yeah. So,
it's a nice color.
Yeah, that's
I got the magnesium shell. The reason I would say that this is my favorite that everyone kind of hates, and I understand why people hate it. It was done by one guy. He really didn't think it out, and it was harder to get stuff for it. But Neil's been really good for me. Every time I've ordered something, it's came in. I needed a new screen, got it. Got the magnesium shell. Got the buttons. It's a tinkerer's dream, right? It's so customizable, and I think that's what I love about it. There's just not that many handhelds out there you can just like customize to what you want.
Yeah.
And I love that I could do that with the KTR1. And I think it's probably my favorite G99 chip. The size, it fits in everything I put it in. It plays what I want it to play. Way better with Gamma OS. Way better. Do not get a KTR1 and not have Gamma OS on it. Like, it just makes the experience so much better. And this one's probably gonna shock a lot of people, but the one that I don't like, that I think everyone puts on a pedestal, is the classic.
Wow.
Yeah.
How come you don't like that one?
Classically.
How did he get on the show?
I bought this one from RH's marketplace. I got it used. Obviously, I went with the Pokemon colored one, but I had a teal one in real life. I really wanted the teal, but they were having problems with shipping that one and stuff. I got it, and yes, I agree with everybody. It's got the power you want. The screen is beautiful, but to me, it had no place for me. It was lost between all of the other handhelds I have. It served no purpose. I tried hard. I really did. I played the game.
But also you also own the Big Brother. You have the IND.
Yeah, I do have the DMG. Yes. Yeah. I played SNES on it. I played NES on it. I played the Game of the Month on it. I beat the games, and for some reason it just didn't click with me. It just didn't. It felt like it was missing something all the time. I think it's pretty close to perfect for a vertical in its price range. But something was always missing. I don't know what it is. Maybe it needed a joystick, or maybe it needed to be a little wider.
I've heard a lot make that argument with that device.
I think it also has maybe you don't realize it, but your team horizontal. Because a lot of the classic is the only vertical that I go back to. I go back to the R36 because I'm a tinker. But to game on, the classic is the only vertical that I keep. I'm in the RGB 20SX, and that's just for Pico 8.
When it comes to vertical,
I'm playing with the brick now. I just don't know if I pick it over a horizontal. I know I'll take my 477M over the brick.
When it comes to vertical, classic without a doubt destroys all of them in screen clarity and just the vividness that it has. But I actually enjoy the 406V design. I just like the bulkiness. I like that it feels a little more solid. There's more to grasp. I think that's why I like it. It doesn't have the power, obviously, the classic has. The classic's just it's a powerhouse, but I feel like a lot of that power is lost because it doesn't have a joystick. Give me a joystick with that much power.
Yeah.
So hey guys, we're running low on time. I want to just ask Russ. I everybody knows where to find you, but I'm just gonna say it. Retro Game Corp's on YouTube. That's where you find Russ.
He's a new guy. Make sure you go check him out and subscribe.
Yeah. Up and coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is your making
Russ,
moment.
Do you have anything that people should be looking out for upcoming that you really want to shout out, or just regular shenanigans? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I don't have anything going on really. Just everything that comes across, my desk. I just try to make a video on it, and just pumping out stuff. I don't have anything special in the works or anything. Just a stack, as always, of crap that I need to review. So that's just what I do. I love it.
That's a good problem.
Yeah. It's really cool. People are like, oh, how do you come up with your ideas for videos? I'm like, man, I never get time to make all the videos I want to. So yeah, it's awesome.
You could be making them, but you keep doing podcasts. Just like three
exactly.
this week.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, you definitely made your rounds this week. I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. We've really enjoyed having you. It was awesome. A huge blessing to have you here with us.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Everybody out there, don't forget to like and subscribe. We have a whole lineup of other people coming on. They're definitely not Russ, but it will still be interesting and cool. We appreciate you, and thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Then we're out.
SaveState.
Bye, guys.